The Rock. From $7 to Hollywood's king. A legend forged from nothing. Can you believe a man who was once homeless, with just $7 in his pocket and no place to call home, could rise to become one of the most powerful figures in Hollywood? This is the extraordinary story of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a man who transformed desperation into determination, failure into fame, and a handful of change into a global empire. He's not just a wrestler, not just an actor, but a larger-than-life icon who embodies the raw power of perseverance. From the gritty wrestling rings of the WWE to the dazzling lights of Tinseltown, The Rock's journey is a wild, inspiring, and sometimes controversial saga that proves no dream is too big, no starting point too low. Get ready for a tale that's equal parts heart, hustle, and Hollywood drama. One that will grip you, motivate you, and maybe even surprise you. A childhood of chaos. Dwayne Johnson entered the world on May 2, 1972, carrying the weight of a legacy before he could even walk. His father, Rocky Johnson, was a pioneering black wrestler who broke barriers in a tough industry, while his maternal grandfather, Peter Mavia, was a revered Samoan wrestling legend, a high chief whose name echoed in arenas across the Pacific. But being born into wrestling royalty didn't mean a life of privilege. Far from it. Dwayne's childhood was a turbulent odyssey, marked by constant upheaval and a search for belonging. The Johnson family lived a nomadic life, chasing wrestling gigs across the country and beyond. From the sun-soaked shores of Hawaii to the gritty streets of Pennsylvania, and even a brief stint in New Zealand, young Dwayne was always the new kid. Each move meant a new school, new faces, and new challenges. At 6'5", by his teens, with a mixed black and Samoan heritage, he stood out, and not always in a good way. Classmates taunted him for his skin color, his size, his outsider status. "I was the kid who didn't fit," he'd later say, his voice tinged with the sting of those memories. Bullies circled, but Dwayne learned to push back, sometimes with his fists. As he hit adolescence, trouble became his shadow. Growing up in rough neighborhoods, Dwayne flirted with crime, petty theft, street fights, anything to feel a fleeting sense of control. He was arrested multiple times, each brush with the law a warning he ignored. School offered little refuge. He was expelled for fighting, his grades a casualty of his chaotic life. "I was angry, lost," he admitted years later. But the real blow came at 23, when his family hit rock bottom. Evicted from their home, they had nowhere to go. Dwayne found himself couch surfing, his worldly possessions reduced to a few crumpled bills minus $7, to be exact. "That was my lowest point," he recalled. Homeless, broke, and staring into an uncertain future. He could have given up. But those $7 weren't just pocket change. They were the spark of a fire that would one day light up the world. The gridiron dream that crumbled. With a childhood steeped in chaos, Dwayne Johnson found salvation on the football field. His towering 6'5" frame and 260-pound physique made him a force of nature, and by high school, he was a standout defensive tackle. Scouts took notice, and his talent earned him a full scholarship to the University of Miami, home of the formidable Miami Hurricanes. In 1991, as a freshman, Dwayne helped the team clinch an NCAA and national championship, a moment of glory that felt like the first step toward NFL stardom. The roar of the crowd, the thrill of victory, it was intoxicating. "I thought the NFL was my destiny," he later said, eyes gleaming with the memory of that dream. But destiny had a cruel twist in store. Injuries began to chip away at his future. A torn shoulder, a wrecked knee, a battered back. Each setback stole a piece of his momentum, and by his senior year, younger players were outshining him. The NFL draft came and went, his name unspoken. In a last-ditch effort, Dwayne signed with the Canadian Football League's Calgary Stampeders, but the dream unraveled faster than it began. After just 2 months, he was cut from the team, sent packing with a measly $200 check and a blunt farewell. "You're done." The rejection hit like a sledgehammer. "I was lost," he admitted. No money, no plan, no hope. Dwayne returned to his parents' cramped Tampa apartment, sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Depression crept in, a heavy fog that dulled his once unstoppable spirit. He questioned his worth, his future, everything. It was in this dark moment, as he stared at the ceiling of his makeshift bedroom, that his father, Rocky Johnson, threw him a lifeline. "Why don't you try wrestling?" he asked. Dwayne scoffed. Wrestling was his family's world. A grueling, unpredictable life he'd seen up close. He knew the toll it took, the endless travel, the physical punishment, the financial instability. Yet, with no other doors open, he took a chance. He began training under his father and wrestling veteran Pat Patterson, adopting the ring name Rocky Maivia to honor his lineage. Little did he know, this reluctant step into the ring would ignite a journey that would make him a legend. The birth of The Rock. In November 1996, Dwayne Johnson stepped into the spotlight of the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, now WWE, as Rocky Maivia, a nod to his father and grandfather's legacy. With a bright smile, a clean-cut image, and a babyface persona, he was packaged as the ultimate good guy, a hero fans were supposed to love. But the wrestling world had other ideas. The WWF's Attitude Era was dawning, a time when fans craved raw, rebellious characters, not polished do-gooders. From his first match, the crowd turned on him. Boos rained down, piercing the arena. Chants of "Rocky sucks" and "Die, Rocky, die" echoed through the stands. "I was bombing," Dwayne later confessed, the sting of rejection still vivid. Each jeer felt personal, a reminder of every door that had slammed shut in his life. Most would have crumbled, but Dwayne saw an opportunity. If the fans hated Rocky Maivia, he'd give them something new, something unforgettable. He shed the squeaky clean act and reinvented himself as The Rock, a brash, trash-talking, eyebrow-raising showman who oozed charisma and didn't care who he offended. The transformation was like flipping a switch. His promos became electric, blending humor, swagger, and razor-sharp wit. "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" he'd taunt, his signature line igniting crowds. Fans who once booed now roared with approval, hanging on his every word. He wasn't just wrestling. He was performing, turning the ring into his stage. By the late 1990s, The Rock was a phenomenon. He captured the WWF World Championship 8 times, headlined WrestleMania, and faced off against icons like Stone Cold Steve Austin in matches that defined an era. His larger-than-life persona transcended wrestling, making him a pop culture juggernaut. Lines like "Lay the Smackdown" and "If you smell what The Rock is cooking" became catchphrases, plastered on t-shirts and shouted in schoolyards. The Rock wasn't just a wrestler. He was a global entertainer, a household name whose charisma was too big for the ring. The world was watching, and Hollywood was calling. Conquering the silver screen. With the wrestling world at his feet, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson set his sights on a new arena, Hollywood. In 2001, he made his big screen debut as the menacing Scorpion King in The Mummy Returns. Though his role was brief, his larger-than-life presence left an impression, earning him a starring role in the spin-off The Scorpion King, 2002. The film grossed $180 million worldwide, a solid start for a wrestler-turned-actor. But Hollywood was a different beast. Critics and audiences alike were skeptical. Could a guy known for body slams and catchphrases hold his own among seasoned actors? The Rock was determined to prove them wrong. Early on, he faced the challenge of escaping the wrestler label. Action roles in The Rundown, 2003, and Walking Tall, 2004, showcased his physicality, but he refused to be typecast. He took risks, diving into comedy with Be Cool, 2005, and family-friendly fare like The Game Plan, 2007, where his charm and self-deprecating humor shone. "I wanted to show I could do more than just fight," he said, and audiences responded. His versatility, part action hero, part comedic everyman, set him apart. The turning point came in 2011 when he joined the Fast and Furious franchise as Luke Hobbs, a no-nonsense federal agent. His chemistry with the cast and commanding presence electrified the series, helping Fast 5 gross over $625 million. From there, The Rock became a box office magnet. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, 2017, raked in nearly $1 billion. San Andreas, 2015, thrilled with disaster spectacle, and his voice role as Maui in Moana, 2016, won hearts worldwide. Even Black Adam, 2022, though divisive, underscored his ambition to lead superhero epics. By 2019, Forbes named him one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors, with earnings of $89.4 million in a single year. The kid who once had $7 was now a bona fide movie star, ruling the silver screen with the same charisma that conquered the wrestling ring. Building an empire. Dwayne, "The Rock" Johnson wasn't content with dominating Hollywood screens. He wanted to own the game. In 2012, he co-founded $7 Productions, a name that paid homage to the desperate days when $7 were all he had. This wasn't just a production company. It was a mission to tell stories with heart, hustle, and the unmistakable rock flair. $7 churned out blockbusters like Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Hobbs and Shaw, and the hit HBO series Ballers, where Dwayne starred as a charismatic NFL star turned financial manager. Each project carried his signature: high energy, relatability, and a relentless drive to inspire. $7 is about creating opportunities, he said, and never forgetting where I came from. But his empire didn't stop at film. The Rock's entrepreneurial spirit led him to launch Terramana Tequila in 2020, a premium brand crafted with authenticity and a nod to his Samoan roots. It was a smash hit, selling 300,000 cases in its first year and earning a loyal following. Not long after, he introduced ZOA Energy, a fitness-focused drink line, and partnered with Under Armour for Project Rock, a wildly popular apparel and footwear collection. These ventures weren't just side hustles. They were extensions of his self-made ethos, built on discipline and a knack for connecting with fans. By 2025, his net worth soared to an estimated $800 million. A staggering leap from his homeless days. With over 400 million Instagram followers, his social media empire amplified his brand. Each post a blend of motivational wisdom, gym selfies, and glimpses into his larger-than-life life. "I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman," he declared, echoing Jay-Z with a grin. The Rock had transformed himself into a global brand, a one-man industry whose every move screamed success. From $7 to a business empire, The Rock proved that with enough grit, you could build a legacy that echoes far beyond the spotlight. The controversies, not always a people's champion. Dwayne, "The Rock" Johnson's journey to the top wasn't without turbulence. Beneath the megawatt smile and inspirational quotes, controversies swirled, proving even a global icon isn't immune to scrutiny. These moments, raw, divisive, and headline-grabbing, added layers to his story, showing the world that The Rock, for all his triumphs, was human. In 2016, a storm erupted on the set of Fast and Furious. The Rock took to Instagram, slamming unnamed co-stars for unprofessional behavior, calling them candy asses, in a post that set social media ablaze. Fans quickly pointed fingers at Vin Diesel, sparking a feud that became Hollywood's juiciest drama. The beef simmered for years, with Diesel publicly pleading for The Rock to return for Fast X in 2023. The Rock stood firm, choosing a Hobbs and Shaw spin-off over the main franchise. Some praised his principles. Others saw it as ego-driven posturing. He's not the team player he claims. One ex-user sniped, capturing the divide. More backlash came in 2023 when The Rock and Oprah Winfrey launched a fundraiser for Maui wildfire victims. The idea seemed noble, but critics pounced, arguing that two of the world's richest celebrities asking everyday people to donate was wildly out of touch. Billionaires begging from the broke. One viral ex-post scoffed, racking up thousands of likes. The Rock defended the campaign, insisting funds were transparent, but the PR hit lingered, tarnishing his man-of-the-people image. Rumors about his physique also fueled debate. In a 2009 interview, he admitted to trying steroids in college, but denied current use. He was equally open about gynecomastia surgery to address excess chest tissue. Yet skeptics weren't satisfied, accusing him of crafting a too-perfect image with enhancements. "Nobody looks like that naturally at 50, a critic tweeted, igniting threads of speculation about his regimen. His 2018 comments about Gen Z didn't help, calling them snowflakes too sensitive for the real world. He drew ire from younger fans who felt he dismissed mental health struggles. The backlash was fierce, forcing him to clarify his stance, but the damage was done. A rare misstep for a man known for reading the room. Then there was his political flirtation. In 2017, he teased a presidential run, telling Variety, "I wouldn't rule it out." Polls showed 46% of Americans might back him, and the idea snowballed. Until 2023, when he firmly stepped back, saying, "I'm not a politician." Fans felt teased. Critics called it a publicity stunt. Finally, Black Adam, 2022, stirred its own storm. The film, a passion project for The Rock, grossed $393 million against a $200 million budget, a disappointment. Fans blamed him for overhyping it and meddling in DC's plans, including pushing for a Superman cameo that clashed with studio strategy. He wanted to run DC and crashed, one ex-post quipped. The fallout strained ties with Warner Bros., leaving his superhero future murky. Family, love, and the man behind the muscles. Behind the Herculean frame and million-watt smile lies a man whose personal life has, at times, been as dramatic as his on-screen roles. Dwayne Johnson's journey through love, heartbreak, and family reveals a more intimate portrait of the man fans call the People's Champ. The first chapter, Dany Garcia. Long before the red carpets and blockbuster premieres, Dwayne married Dany Garcia in 1997. She wasn't just his wife. She was also his business partner, manager, and a rock of stability during his early wrestling days. Together, they had a daughter, Simone Alexandra Johnson, who has since followed in her father's footsteps into the WWE, making her a third-generation wrestler. But fame, stress, and shifting life goals pulled them apart. They divorced in 2008, a decision that, in Hollywood terms, was shockingly graceful. There were no tabloids, no public fights. In fact, Dany continued to manage The Rock's career even after their split, co-founding $7 Productions with him. Their friendship, built on mutual respect and shared ambition, is rare in the world they occupy. A New Love, Lauren Hashian. While filming The Game Plan in 2006, The Rock met Lauren Hashian, daughter of famed Boston drummer Sib Hashian. The connection was instant, but also controversial, as whispers of emotional overlap with his first marriage began to swirl. By 2007, he and Dany had separated, and soon after, he and Lauren began their life together. For a while, tabloids speculated if this was an affair-turned-love story. The couple remained mostly private, refusing to fuel the media fire. Years later, in 2015 and 2018, Dwayne and Lauren welcomed two daughters, Jasmine and Tiana Gia, completing a picture of family that he now proudly displays to the world. Their long-awaited wedding took place in 2019 on the sun-kissed shores of Hawaii, in a private ceremony that reflected the quiet strength of their bond. Rumors, affairs, and tabloid firestorms. While Dwayne has largely maintained a clean public image, he hasn't entirely escaped the heat of Hollywood speculation. He's been linked romantically in rumors with co-stars like Alexandra Daddario, Gal Gadot, and Priyanka Chopra, all unconfirmed, of course, but persistent. His undeniable chemistry on screen has only fueled the gossip, even as he's carefully avoided scandalous headlines. Moreover, whispers have followed him about being overly image-conscious, allegedly managing his public persona with military precision. Some critics say he plays the perfect family man too perfectly, while others admire the discipline it takes to protect what matters most: his wife, his kids, and his legacy. The Rock's legacy, not just muscle, but meaning. Through broken dreams, broken bones, and broken relationships, Dwayne Johnson built a life that defies Hollywood cliches. He rose not on the back of scandal or luck, but on discipline, consistency, and a ferocious belief that failure isn't final unless you let it be. His family, both old and new, stands as testament to that belief. His ex-wife turned business partner, his WWE aspiring daughter, his two little girls who call him Daddy, not Superstar, and a wife who stood by him quietly as he conquered the world. In a town built on illusion, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is, ironically, one of its most real men. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters how you finish, and how you carry those you love with you to the top. Dwayne Johnson. A legacy of resilience. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's story is a testament to the unbreakable human spirit. From a troubled kid with just $7 in his pocket to a global icon commanding Hollywood, wrestling arenas, and boardrooms, he's redefined what it means to rise from nothing. His journey, paved with sweat, setbacks, and scandals, shows that success isn't about perfection but persistence. The controversies, from feuds with Vin Diesel to missteps with Maui fundraisers, reveal a man who's human, not a myth. Yet they don't dim his shine. 8 WWE championships, billion-dollar blockbusters like Jumanji, and a business empire spanning Tiramana Tequila to $7 Productions prove his relentless drive. The Rock's scandals add depth, not dents, to his legacy. They show a man bold enough to take risks, honest enough to own his mistakes, and resilient enough to keep moving forward. His image, crafted through discipline, charisma, and an unshakable work ethic, inspires millions. With over 400 million Instagram followers hanging on his every post, he's more than a star. He's a movement. Success isn't about greatness, he once said. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. For every kid sleeping on a friend's couch, every dreamer told their shot is gone. The Rock's life screams a powerful truth. It doesn't matter where you start, homeless or heartbroken, with $7 or none. If you grind, if you believe, you can become anything. The Rock isn't just Hollywood's king. He's a beacon of what's possible when you refuse to quit. So take a deep breath, channel that fire, and maybe, just maybe, you'll smell what The Rock is cooking.